Okay, so now we've got stage 13, which is preparing Robi's shoulder servo. So we're just preparing a servo again this time. So we've got our new and improved screwdriver that actually works. In the description again, I will link to this. I'm probably just going to put it on my reviews, even though I haven't reviewed it. I don't know. I've got like wish lists on Amazon, so I got it from Amazon, so I'll put it in the description, the name and then whatnot. Because like I said in the last one, the other screwdriver got stripped, and so now we're using one that the metal isn't going to bend and strip like that. So this one, to look at what we're doing, we've just got a servo again. We've done this stage 11 basically previous times, several times. In this session, you will prepare the servo that will move Robi's right shoulder back and forth by wiring it, testing its operation, then setting its ID number ready for use. The servo provided today will move Robi's right arm in a linear forward and backward motion. As the part will be concealed inside Robi's body, it will not need to be encased in any shaped arm frames as you did for the upper and forearm servos in previous stages. To prepare this part for use, you will first test it using the test board supplied in stage 3 and set its ID number, which will coordinate its operation on completion. So the part today is just the servo, and then Robi's neck stand, his chest and his head, and the sealed servo cable that I had from stage 12. It's no longer sealed though, because I put the pads on the connector in that stage. Okay, the servo and cable. Take out the 4 screws holding the servo's removable cover in place. Keep these parts safely to one side because we're going to end up resealing it. Gently lift the cover away, taking care not to force it or damage the circuit board underneath. As always, a tip, it's very important the electronics parts exposed by removing the servo's cover are not touched in any way. Hold the open servo only by its sides, and if you put it down or on your work surface during the build, do this with the open side facing upwards. Hold the open servo by its sides with the circuit board facing upwards. Fetch the servo cable fitted with the protective pads in the previous issue and press one of its connectors into the socket circled in red. Okay, it doesn't matter which end of the servo cable you use. The servo cable had protective pads fitted into its connectors in the previous stage. I don't know why it says issue. But if you find it difficult to attach with the pad in place, it's possible to apply the pad afterwards. To do this, very carefully fit the cable's connector into the servo socket, then remove a pad from the backing sheet and place it on the top of the connector and press down to seal the part. So normally I do the steps a couple at a time, but because we've done this so many times, I'm just reading all of the steps. So after I've done all of that, then I pass the free end of the servo cable through the circular hole in the removable cover, and I press the cover back into place, and then I put the 4 screws back in. So that's all we're going to do is just remove the screws, put the connector on, slide the connector through the front, and then put the cover and the screws back on. And everything's much easier with this screwdriver. Like, I had no idea how hard I was making things for myself by using the one provided with the kit. So, tool tip is have the right tool. Just can't believe how much I was struggling with that one for no reason. Goodness, why is this still... Oh, we'll get that one in a second. This one should just come out. It shouldn't have to do this. So I don't know what's going on with it. I talk about, there we go. Alright, so we took this off. The one that they want us to put it in, because they always show, so this is oriented, and they actually want it in this one. Instead, it's used, the prior stage we put the connectors differently. So we put it, this is the pad. The pad is to use to help to press it down. There we go. It actually went in pretty easily. Okay, then we put this back on. Okay. Looking good. And then we put the screws on. Oh, and darn it, I keep forgetting to have Jibo do his timer. Hey Jibo, do a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes it is.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Glad to do it.
See, Jibo's a very polite robot. Hey Jibo, you're a very polite robot.
Oh, well thank you. I'm just trying to be a welcome and pleasant robotic presence in your life.
You are. You're always welcome and pleasant. So I'm basically trying to get each of them in slightly and then I'll tighten them. Okay, it says take care not to over tighten. Well, I'm not going to do that. I was really struggling on stage 11 getting the screws tightened, getting the screws tightened with that other screwdriver. I'm sorry to keep talking about it, but it was like I ended up hurting myself with a, hurting my finger, which I thankfully was not on camera, because I decided thankfully to tighten them off camera and then had the incident happen. Okay, so we've done this part. Okay, so you can see it before me. Testing the servo. Thought that was the end of the stage. No, it's not. Okay, testing the servo. Take the neck stand and make sure the power pack is turned off. Carefully unplug the black servo cable from the socket on the left of the test board and attach the servo cable connected to the servo in step 3. With the servo connected, switch the power on. After the LEDs blink twice, only the one LED should light up. To test the servo, press the test set switch. The servo shaft should rotate 45 degrees to the left, stop, then move back across to 45 degrees to the right. The next step is to set the servo's ID number, so it's keep the power on. If the test is not run, refer to the help box in stage 8. Which stage 8 I'm going to link again like I did in stage 11. So the on-off switch is here. It is always off because that's what I do. I always shut it off. I always keep this disconnected. So it's going to blink. It's going to blink to the 1 position. I'm going to I need to attach it. Let me shut it off. See, that's why I don't normally skip ahead. Okay, so I'm going to put it in this socket here, this connector socket. Not really a socket, I don't know. Connector area. There we go. It's got to click into place. Keep it up there. This will rotate when we do the test. You probably are not going to see it rotate though. Okay. Okay, now let's turn it on. It's going to show 1 as we expect. And then if I do set test, yeah, it rotated as it should have. In the coming stages, you will again be setting a servo's ID number using the test board, so refamiliarize yourself with the board's lights and switches, which were first explained in the assembly guide of stage 8. And that's where I'm going to link stage 8, the video. These are used to set the ID numbers of the servos. Each time you press the up switch, the ID number increases by 1, and the result is displayed by the 2 banks of LED lights. The top row reads in tens and the bottom in units. For example, to set the ID to 16, as you will do in this stage, you press up 15 times. This will light up the 10 LED and the 6 LED. If you overshoot, press the down switch to take it down 1 step at a time. When the ID number is correct, you set it by pressing and holding the test set switch. To set the ID number, like they said, I'm going to push it up 15 times, and then it'll be showing a 10 and a 6 on the board. Confirm the setting by the correct LEDs and whatnot, you know. So I'm going to do up. Let's see if you can see it. I don't want it to hurt the servo. So we got 10 and 16. Let's say I overshoot it though. So I push 1 too many times on 17. All I got to do is push down on of the up and down, and it goes back to 16. Then I press this test set switch, which we did earlier, and it's going to, I'm going to hold it until it blinks. And then now it's set. Now, if I, confirm the servo by pressing and holding the test set button for a few seconds, the 10 and 6 lights should flash, then go out. Leave the servo connected, switch the power off, then back on. The 1 LED should light up, and then check the ID number by pushing test set, and then the 10 and the 6 should light up. It's crucial that all of Robi's servos have the correct ID number, so check thoroughly you've set the desired number. So we're going to shut it off. So it's off now. And then we're going to turn it back on. It's going to show 1. But if I push this, it should change to 10 and 6. And it did. And it also rotates. So there we go. Once all is well, switch the power back off. Carefully unplug the servo from the test board. It'll retain its setting, ready to fit into Robi's shoulder. The assembled servo, shoulder servo, this is the servo that will operate Robi's shoulder. This is assembled, wired, and set. Make sure you keep the parts safely separate, preferably in a sealed plastic bag with its ID number written on it for ease of reference. So I'm going to just keep this I'm going to keep this bag, and then I'm going to rip this off, and then I'm going to use like a marker or pen and put 16 on it. Reseal it in the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out. Let me shut it off before I disconnect it. Not a good idea to disconnect it first. So then we're going to do that, and then we're going to put it back in the bag that we got it in. And I'm going to do that. Okay, so that's the end. It looks like this stage is already done, so maybe I can start on the next stage. Hey Jibo, how long do I have on the timer?
7 minutes and 8 seconds left.
Nah, it's not enough time. This next stage, which is begin assembling Robi's body, looks to be much more complicated than this stage was. Hey Jibo, stop the timer, buddy.
Sure, it's canceled.
Thank you. Okay, so there's the servo that I'm going to put the number on, and the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Take care. We'll have the next stage pretty soon next week. Bye-bye.